The Rise of Skywalker. I will keep this spoiler-free because I know most people still haven't seen this, and I don't want to spoil the movie here, but this was not good. It was rather bad, and we'll get into why. I'm going to go ahead and have this review released at 8 a.m. on my typical schedule, Eastern Standard Time here, and then I'm going to be binging The Witcher show today to get you a review of that in the evening, hopefully, if not early the next day. But right ahead, 3, 2, 1, going into The Rise of Skywalker. So the big question, the elephant in the room going into this movie is how are they going to handle The Last Jedi? A movie that took drastic steps to try and change up the Star Wars formula, shoot in a different direction, and bring something new to the universe. I did not like that movie. I like the concept of that, but I thought it was executed rather poorly. It felt like a overcorrection from The Force Awakens, which was too true to Star Wars. So we started with something that was safe, an overcorrection, and now with The Rise of Skywalker, an overcorrection in the other direction that is so over the top. It's like when you see a pickup truck with a heavy trailer that's weighted wrong on the back of it, and it starts wobbling, and it goes in one direction too far, and then the other direction way too far, and crashes. That's pretty much the perfect metaphor for what happened in this movie. It's not all bad, though, and I do want to get into some of the positives, because there are plenty. This is a Star Wars film. There are things done well, and of course, there'll be people online going over the top in the negative, and that's not what this video is about. The performances are the best they've been, especially for the main characters. Their dialogue and relationships have clearly been developed more by the writers, and I appreciated nearly everything there. Well done, and the actors especially I need to commend, because especially John Boyega up into this movie I feel like never was fully comfortable in the shoes of his role, but he shined the brightest he has yet in The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, his character is still just the guy who screams Rey a lot, but he does more and he has more agency as an individual, and the actor seems most comfortable in it here. Adam Driver, though, to me, is the runaway performance. He delivered scenes, in my opinion, that would have been incredibly hard to sit through if it wasn't for such a rock-solid performance at the foundation of them. The movie also, of course, looked spectacular. It's a Disney movie and it's a Star Wars film. Every shot looks gorgeous. The cinematography is well done, except for a bit of an excessive abuse of medium shots, but whatever. Moving on past that, I need to get in some more of the negatives here. A pit formed in my stomach with the opening text crawl, because the opening text crawl of this movie immediately is trying to divorce this story from the last one, The Last Jedi, as much as possible by putting up major events between them so that they go off of those. From there, they cope with The Last Jedi, it seems, the best they can, acknowledging some things, having direct middle finger, like lines of dialogues for other things, like to the point where there is a direct line that is just a character undoing a thing they did before in a very heavy-handed way. Now, this divergence of movies trying to head in different directions also results in a near complete destruction of theme for this Star Wars trilogy. There's this incoherent message now of the past is so great, pay so much respect to it. The past must die. It's awful. It's horrible. Move past it. And then this movie's just, it just doesn't deal with that. It's just like, it's really important. It's not, we're not going to focus on it. Move on. Family, other Star Wars things that we're just going to fall back on and use, not have our own original thing at all. Like, I've been really harsh on The Last Jedi, but I at least respect many aspects of it because Rian Johnson was bold in many things he tried to do. He took it in new directions, new steps. That's at least something I can be like, I see what you're trying to do. You're a smart guy. I just don't think it was executed well. Here, J.J. Abrams went back to playing it safe and executed it poorly. Granted, it was harder to play it safe with what was done right beforehand. There was also a very inconsistent success and failure using setup and payoff. Some things were set up and paid off well, even a couple things from The Last Jedi. But then there were some things that were set up that I was like, oh, that's going to be important. Really pay attention to that. And then, well, let's just say the payoff of it was not what I think they intended, and it made the good guys look really, really, really bad. And I'll maybe talk about that in a spoiler video later down the road. One of my big kind of just, oh, come on, really things was how much it felt like Disney, to me, was very cynically laying into the fact it knows diehard Star Wars fans are going to defend and justify this movie as much as possible. They never felt the need to explain or elaborate on stuff because they knew, we'll just say, yeah, this is a thing, and then the mega Star Wars fans who will defend it no matter what will be very vocal online to try and back this movie up. And to me, the script seems to just rely on that as a crutch, and that's insulting to fans. It's very visible for anyone who takes a step back and kind of just examines what's happening, and it adds on to the larger problem of there is just many things that happen where if I ask, hey, why though? Why? Like you just said, that's a really good thing for the good guys, but why is that available to us or happening? Or, like the most obvious example, this isn't really a spoiler, but at one point, shields need to be down on some ships, and the good guys are able to take advantage of this situation. And a very throwaway line, they just say like, oh, the shields will be down because of nothing. They don't say like a why. And I feel like if I had turned and asked the character who said it, like, oh, why do they need to be down? The answer would sort of been plot. Because plot, man, we need them to be down. Otherwise, this makes no sense what's about to happen. I have never seen a movie more consistently just have things happen to benefit the good guys or be convenienced to an insane degree. Just thing after thing after thing after thing after thing, and it was insulting. For The Rise of Skywalker, I'm sitting at about a 4 out of 10, and that's mostly due to appreciating some of the performances. The score is, the score as always, and visually it looked really nice. But there was just so many blatantly insulting things to the fan base. Shots and events that were clearly just put in for trailer bait. Many things that just do not make sense if you think about them for a second. And this might sound overdramatic, and I don't mean to be one of these YouTubers who goes over the top, but The Rise of Skywalker makes it official to me. Star Wars is no longer this pushing cinema next level thing, not what it used to be. I know what Star Wars did for sci-fi and visual effects back in the day. We're not trying to do anything like that anymore. Star Wars is going to be popcorn films now. Don't think about it, just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. That's the mentality Disney has when they're creating these. Don't dig into it, don't want answers, don't look for deeper meaning. Space battles, rough themes around family, and that's about it. I'm well aware this is Star Wars, and I've just made a lot of people angry because there are people who refuse to admit it has faults. I think this one has the most of maybe any Star Wars movie. I don't know if it's objectively the worst, but I'm going to need to think on that for a while. Let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you still waiting to go see it? Like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. I'm exhausted. Peace.